This is a tough little challenge that I've given us. I don't even know if I have enough lights for this, but I've got some ideas of how I think I want to do this. Who am I to think I can take on AI? I think it's locked in. Do we do the move? I'm gonna make AI give me a prompt and I'm gonna recreate the lighting of whatever it generates. I don't know exactly what it's gonna print out to me. I'm just gonna give it kind of the bare minimum of what we got here, which is myself, lighting, a psych wall, and Amy. And I think it's important to, in a way, draw a line or separate the differences of how we use AI, because there's the concern of it's taking jobs in the film industry, and that's very valid, and it's something that I think that we need to tread lightly with moving forward with AI. I like to say that it's a great tool to use for something like pitch decks, clients, to show them, you know, this is what the project is going to look like. As of right now, it's still not there. I'm seeing it's giving us extra hands and fingers, and people just don't look quite right. So at least for now, I know that it's not taking our jobs, but it's just something that, some food for thought, we could call it, as we're really diving into this AI era. I don't know exactly what we're gonna need, so I brought kind of an abundance of things. First of all, the camera, it's just gonna be the FX3. And then for our lights, I needed all color because I didn't know what elements we were gonna be facing. We're gonna type in a few attributes. I don't wanna be too specific because I want AI to have its creative freedom, we'll call it. We're gonna say, a blonde girl in her 20s wearing a white long sleeve shirt with vibrant purple eye makeup, sitting in a brown leather chair in front of a white cyc wall. She is lit by vibrant colored lighting to give a high contrast cinematic look. That's all that I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna let AI run with that. So we're gonna generate this. Oh, we're gonna make this fun actually. Amy's gonna pick which of the three, so that way it's out of my control.
I think the purple would be fun just because there's purple makeup.
Okay, let's do it then. Are we locking it in? Okay, we're doing the purple and the blue one because it matches for makeup. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take it one step further. We're gonna animate this photo to become a video, and then we're gonna recreate whatever motion it gives us, which I'm really scared of. So it's just a slow dolly move in. It looks like it's off speed, so we're gonna make it slow motion as well. I think I see 3 light sources in this right now. So a big soft source that we're gonna make blue, and then we've also got to contrast that coming from the left side, you've got this pink. And then you can see in our eyes, we've got this twinkle of a catch light, and you can almost see this highlight reflection that we're getting on the bridge of our nose, on the forehead. Let's do that. Let's start with our blue undertones. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna use our 1000C that's right here. To me, this blue is just rendering as like ambience, as undertone, as softness. I want a big source. So I'm gonna do a softbox 150, strike this on, and our hue, I'm gonna guess like 201 degrees. We've got some overhead lights I gotta kill. All right, so here's what we've got so far is our blue tones, but we're gonna have to tweak things as we go. Again, this is like a blue undertone. This is like laying the bricks of the foundation. Next light we're going for is our pink light. We're going for the Aperture 600C Pro. We're just gonna go another light dome on here, strike this light on. If I were to guess, it's gonna be somewhere in the hue of 276. I don't know, that feels kind of right. All right, let's see what we've got so far, because I want to be able to get this shadow, and where this shadow is coming from, it's being created by her blocking the pink light. So if this is here and she's here, think of this like an eclipse of the earth. I'm thinking the pink light is somewhere right over here. So we're gonna bring that closer to her to make that shadow sharper and lower. I'm gonna say, hopefully it's creating that shadow of her, but it's not. Why is it not, guys? Yeah, I think she's gotta be closer to the wall to get that shadow. All right, we're gonna make a move, my friends. We're right about there. Okay, let's pop you there. Now we're starting to get a shadow, I see it. I'm noticing that this light is softer than what AI used. So I wanna see what happens if I make the source smaller by flagging half of it off, swap the light out. If that's what I think it is, I'll swap the light out. So we're gonna bring that to white, and we're gonna put this at 5600. So now, this is gonna be right above camera, and this is gonna give, you can see that twinkle in her eye relative to camera. Yeah, here we go. I could rock with it. All right, one more light, guys. So I'm gonna pull out the trusty old Storm 80C. Striking, whoa. Sorry if that was bright. That's starting to give more of that shadow, I think. Maybe something like this. Let me see what it's gonna, okay, so it's starting to get there actually. I'm just a perfectionist, and it's not selling me, you know? You know what? Guys, there's one more light. There's one more light. Right here, we've got this blue edge, and she doesn't have that coming from anywhere because our blue is front lit. So there's 2 blue lights that are in this scene. Yeah. We're missing one. Right when I said we're gonna lock it in. We're gonna pull out the infinity map, my friends. Oh yeah. This is what I make my friends sleep on when they come to visit me. We're gonna move this. Put this over here. Strike this on. That's gonna be back to our blue. Okay, so now we're gonna bring our white light. It's gonna be smaller and more controlled, so that way it's not gonna wash out our backdrop, and it's gonna make the blue as it is in the AI. So we're gonna put that about here, and we're gonna put the grid on it, because the grid is gonna keep this light controlled. There it is. We're gonna turn off the grid. And she's got the twinkle in her eye. She's got that shadow on her nose. Yeah, it neutralizes everything. Guys, I think we might have done it. Let's do a final review, and then we'll show Amy and make sure that she approves. It's not too bad. I think it's locked in. Do we do the move? That push in, that dolly move? Let's do it. All right, we're doing the move. All it is just this slow dolly in slow motion. So I set the camera to 60 frames a second, and I got it on the Ronin gimbal, and I'm just gonna walk in and moving. Now you might be asking me how I actually am making these AI images, and I couldn't do it without Artlist, which is the sponsor for today. Now Artlist actually, as of a couple of days ago, has just released their generative AI images in video, and that's exactly what I've been using to make these images, which honestly so far have been very, very impressive. Let me walk you through exactly how it goes. So essentially what it is here is text to image and then image to video. So you're gonna type in what your prompt is, exactly what we've been doing here with the colored lighting explaining the situation. And you can go through your style catalog, similar to their AI voiceover setup. You can go through and you can pick, I was doing multi-purpose, but you can do comic noir. Let's do another one like this, and we're gonna do the same thing, and we're gonna generate that. Okay, so it just came out. This is the comic book one that came out, and it's very impressive, very comic book-esque. Once you have the photo generated, you can animate that photo to turn it into a video. So I did that with this one that we did here. So it gives you the option to create this photo and then turn it into a video as well to your liking. I see this being used as a fantastic storyboard, pitch deck kind of direction, as like, hey, I'm working on a project right now. I need to pitch and give a visual for what this is actually going to look like. The nice part about running through Artlist is that they take care of all the licensing. So you do it through here, the license is taken care of, and you don't have to worry about who this belongs to and all of that. That's all within Artlist. So I'm gonna leave a link down below. Leave your comments down below of your thoughts on this as well, but let's go ahead and get on to the next setup. What should we do? All right, the second variation that we're gonna do, I tried to put it in different ones, but it was giving me a similar look to what we just did. I was like, you know what, let's play with the comic book one. So we've got this really cool top light that's like the interrogation light, which is really fun. We've still got the same colors as we did before, but instead of like the deep RGB blue, it's like a steely concrete blue. So that's really fun. But then also this pink light, instead of being like a nice, beautiful soft source, we've got a really hard under pink light that's hitting her cheekbones, her jaw, a little bit of the chair. So it's looking like we're gonna be using a lot of hard lights. The one challenge, her eyes are glowing pink because it's a comic book. But I've got some ideas of how I think I want to do this and make her eyes glow pink, but let's just go ahead and start lighting things up and make the scene happen. Okay, so since we changed to this spooky grungy vibe, we're taking off of the cyc wall. This is gonna be our backdrop. We're gonna frame up first, and we're gonna start adding some lights. Right there, now we gotta start lighting accordingly. First light that I wanna rig up is this overhead, which to me, it looks like it's a hard light. So I'm gonna try to rig up this ADC that we've got onto something. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna stick this here, and then we're gonna jiv this up a little bit. All right, 4200 Kelvin in the white balance to give that steely blue look. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna come down for a second, because I like how it spills on the wall, but I want it to be a little bit more tilty. So we're gonna bring this out so it spills even more. Oh, it's there. And then cross your arms kind of. Yeah, and it's already starting to give that underglow as well. So I'm gonna bring the exposure up. So now we've got our spill on the wall. We've got our spill on our head. So the tricky thing is how we're gonna get the look of these, because we've got one hard source here. That's what we're gonna attack first. And then there's another hard source right here. And then there's a soft source behind that's raking up on the wall. And then we've got her eyes. So we still have a handful of lights to get after. Let's go one by one here, and I think I can get it. So here's this, we're gonna get rid of our softbox. We're gonna throw on a reflector dish, and we're just gonna keep this on the ground. What we're doing with this one is that uplight. That's on the background on that concrete. Yeah, make do with something like that. Okay, so quick update of where we got things right now. We've got our overhead light, which I just barn doored these just to be like this circle falling on her. The chair in the AI is super glossy and reflective, so it bounces a lot of the light off. This one it's sucking up a lot of the light here, so it's really bright and it's just not giving me the character I want. So we're gonna cheat that, and with that, we lost the backdrop. I might just let that go and do that in post or something like that. Then we put this infinity mat that's raking up on the back wall here. That's pretty simple and self-explanatory. And then this one, I've got hitting this kind of side of her cheekbone jawline. This is gonna be the most overkill thing that I've probably ever done in my career, but it's the only RGB light that I have left. This is a 1000C. Okay, what is that serving? That's just a little glow on the edge of the chair. Go ahead and tilt your head forward, super antagonist, yeah. Okay, so I think the only issue is the fact that we don't have any way to make her eyes glow. Maybe we just accept failure. This is tough. Who am I to think I can take a comic book AI thing and recreate the lighting on it? I mean, it's not bad. And give like your most antagonizing look straight into here. Guys, I accept defeat. I think that I bit off more than I could chew with this. And a combination of, it's a fucking comic book, on top of, I brought not the right lights either, and time, because I've got to go to Vegas tomorrow. A lot of things just brought me to this point of, I just don't think that I have it in me to be able to do this to completion. I'm looking at it and I'm like, that looks so much better. I don't know how to make the eyes glow with a 1000C and stuff. What I was trying to do was just bounce off like a white bounce card and make that reflection glow in her eyes. And I didn't have like an MC or anything like that to bounce off of that. I just forgot to bring it, quite honestly. So I'm accepting defeat in this. And I know that I could have done better, but I think it's not terrible. It still gives the same inspiration. I took inspiration from the AI, but it's not quite there. And I apologize for not getting it quite there. But regardless of which, this is where we part ways. So I don't know if this is a great exercise or practice or just a fun game ultimately to see how I would compete against AI generated images. I think it was a really fun experiment, and I don't know where AI is going to go in the next fucking even month or year or decade or whatever. I just wanted to play with some lights, guys. So have what you choose to have after this video. I'm exhausted and don't know what I'm going to say next. But what I am going to say next is subscribe to this video and have a good night. I love you and goodbye.